Hi all, it's JK here. So I've been looking at the Honda NSX and I thought it would be interesting, I've always been a Ferrari, I love Honda, don't get me wrong, I love my Type R, but I've always been, a Ferrari fan. And the reason for that being is the higher revving engines, the V8s, they sound amazing. Even, I've not heard a 355, but I have heard the 360 Modena, they sound fabulous. 3.6 V8. The 430, that's got an amazing exhaust note and a beautiful V8 engine. The 4.3, and obviously the 458 Italia. Beautiful cars, they sound amazing. All of that. Never ever gave the NSX a thought. So I YouTubed a few, and it shows the usual idiots doing burnouts in them, handbraking them, all that. But I saw a couple of decent videos as well, where it showed them revving and VTECing. I thought, yeah, that sounds pretty cool. So naturally, with the EP3 being the amazing car that it is, triple plated clutch, timing chain driven engine equals very, very low maintenance. Keep the oil topped up, it'll just go and it'll be cheap to run. So I thought the NSX, especially the 2001-2005 year one, I thought, wow, can you imagine having a mid-engined rear-wheel drive Type R, 3.2 litre engine, naturally aspirated, again 8,500 RPM limiter, only you've got supercar power and supercar handling. Anyway, did a bit of research, and to be honest, I'm very, very underwhelmed. I'm disappointed actually, because it's the same era. Okay, forget the earlier ones, the 1990 to 1998 and the 98 to 2000. Forget that. I'm talking about the 2001 to the 2005, where the Japanese market had the Type R, which in my opinion would be the ultimate Type R. If you love your EP3 or your FN2 or any Type R, you would have given some thought to the NSX Type R and thought, wow, surely that car is a breathtaker. Apparently not. 0 to 60 is 5.7 seconds. The Type R EP3 is 6.4 seconds. Obviously, the facelift model. The top speed is 170 miles an hour in the NSX. Top speed in the EP3 is 150 miles per hour. The engine is a complex. The NSX engine is a very complicated V6, and it's got a very complicated gearbox as well. The reviews I've read are that the car is reliable. However, obviously these reviews were when the car was new. So my concern was, would it be a reliable car as the EP3 is? Because to me, and I'm sure a lot of you agree, the EP3 is Honda's finest hour. It was cheap. Okay, it wasn't that cheap. It was £17,000 new. But, when you look at what you got for your money, the performance, compared to the NSX was £50,000. And look at the figures. £50,000 in Honda's eyes buys you a complex engine, 3.2 litre engine, a complex gearbox, which is a reach down gearbox. It's not the good Civic gearbox where it's like a touring car and it's right next to the wheel, which is basically the next best thing to a flappy paddle gearbox. It's a low down gearbox, which is conventional. So you're there and you're driving away, you're doing, and then you need to go down. And I'd imagine a lot of people keep the hand on the gear lever, ready to change gears. It's a good box, don't get me wrong. It's a 6-speed box on the NSX. But to me, both cars were in production in the same period, 2001 to 2006. And the NSX is supposed to be Honda's crown, jewel in the crown. It's supposed to be the bee's knees. But if you do your research on the car, just out of curiosity, I mean, most people can't afford one. You're looking silly money. People want 60. I saw one at an auction house. He wanted £65,000 for an NSX 3.2i, not the Type R, the conventional NSX, which isn't that good. And you don't get much on the NSX Type R because not many people own them, so I don't know how good that is either. But my data's based on the NSX I, not the R. And £65,000, and the amount of work had been done on it, it basically was a rebuilt car. And it had only done 34,000 miles. So I was like, Jesus, that's not good, is it? When you consider it, compare it to an EP3, which by the way is a hot hatch. It's not even a supercar, it's a hot hatch. It was designed for young people, you know, late teens, early to mid 20s, kids that go out and chill out at McDonald's or go to Santa Pod or meet out at Junction 27 or any other car parks and just to talk about cars. It wasn't a supercar. I mean, yes, it was designed for the track, the Type R was, EP3 was, but you know, a supercar is supposed to be the ultimate driving machine, literally. Or, well, a hypercar, arguably, but the supercar is what is supposed to be. You pay a lot of money for it, and you get a lot in return in performance. But the NSX does 0 to 16 5.7 seconds. Type R 6.4. Yeah, the NSX has a top speed of 170 miles per hour. Okay, some people say 180. The Type R 150. You can even get 160 out of it on a very straight road on a long run. And yeah, it's just disappointing. And then I've just been on this video, looking at a video here about, and a guy's put 5 things he hates about his NSX. And they're pretty serious things. They're things that you'd expect from a Ferrari. Things like the door flaps at speed. You know, the glass of the driver's and passenger door, if you do over 100 miles an hour, it starts flapping. I mean, come on, Honda, what are you playing at? This is a bloody Ferrari. You'd expect crap like that from a Ferrari hand-built in Maranello. And the 355 faults was because it was cheaply built, cheaply assembled, hand-built. The 360 Modena is a bulletproof car, you know. Reliability went up tenfold with that car because it was automated. They completely shifted their manufacturing process and quality regime. So this guy, he's going on about the 5 things he hates. That's one of them, which really stood out to me. The other, he said the car doesn't sound very good. I disagree with him there. When you hear the car rev, it does sound nice. You know, 3.2 VTEC does sound good in my opinion. YouTube it yourself, see what you think. But yeah, it was. And the other thing he said, wow, it's amazing. The clutch lasts 100,000 miles, and then it costs, I think he said, $1,000 for the parts and $1,000 labour to replace it. So $2,000, and you can bet your dollar that it will be the same in pounds here to get it done here. Probably more plus VAT. Whereas the Civic EP3's triple plated clutch, I read in a Max Power magazine years ago, I think I've got it around somewhere, where they actually celebrated the Type R, is designed to be mated with an engine of 400 brake horsepower. That's, you know what I mean? That's a standard clutch that came with a 200 brake car, and you could modify it to 400 brake, and you wouldn't need to replace the clutch, and I dare say you wouldn't need to change the gearbox either. In Max Power, they started changing the gearbox and clutch once they got over 700 brake, I think. I'll have to get that magazine out and show you all. But yeah, he's changed his clutch at 100,000. He said it cost him $2,000, and then it had a timing belt as well. Why the hell didn't Honda use a chain like they did the P3? But yeah, the belt needs changing every, I don't know how many miles. He did say, I didn't. He was boring me, to be honest. But yeah, and that costs $3,000. So yeah, basically the NSX, it's the same era as the EP3, but the EP3 engineering wise was superior and could give the car a run for its money. The only thing that the NSX excels in, because it's got no power steering, is it gives very good handling feedback when driving, and also apparently it handles very well as well. But as we all know, the Civic Type R does as well. Obviously, the NSX, I assume, would outperform the EP3 at over 100 mile an hour, which is what a supercar make where a supercar comes in. It's all right a hot hatch beating or being a pain in the arse for a supercar up to 60, 70, 80 miles an hour, but it's from 60 plus where supercars leave us behind. So yeah, that's my rant about the Honda NSX. How, and I actually wrote on the guy's wall, I put, you know, the NSX is disappointing. I've got a Civic Type R EP3, and that's Honda's finest hour, and it's true, it is. So yeah, that's my rant. Leave comments. See, give me your feedback. See what you think. But the NSX, what should have been in that bracket, the supercar bracket, what the Type R was in the hot hatch bracket, i.e., untouchable. Even the Golf GTI after that came out after that was still nowhere near. I went to a Golf garage in my Type R, and I argued with the dealer. I said, "So which car's faster, mine or that GTI?" And he goes, "Oh, on the track there was nothing in it. There was nothing in it." I said, "What was faster?" He goes, "There was nothing in it. There was nothing in it." I said, "Look, mate, I know what the answer is. My Type R beats that on the track, and that's with the DSG box." He just went quiet. So the EP3 is just Honda's finest hour. Let me know what you think.